welcome back to November's Founders Deep Dive. This is where Ty and I take a look back on last month's Spotlight feature, introduce you to this month's incredible guest, and dive into a topic that gets to the heart of the journey behind the brand. Before we jump in, as we always do, we're just going to do a little housekeeping. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected because here we share it all, the highs, the lows, and everything in between with regards to business. To start off, I'm Starah Dixon, founder of Mitsu's, your destination for statement decor that blends luxury with everyday living. We offer curated, artisan crafted pieces for those who don't just follow the trends, they set them. Pieces that make your home feel powerful, personal, and anything but ordinary. On to you, my Ty.
Hi everyone, my name's Tysheda. I am the founder and CEO of Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events, where we curate elevated travel experiences and retreats that help people stay away from the noise of AI technology to rediscover the power of human connection, explore the world, and prioritize wellness and mental health. For those who are new here, Authentic Ambitions Inspiring Brands and Bold Leaders was created not to just spotlight founders and their stories, but to bring founders together, to build community, network, and share a bigger mission of visibility, growth, community, and legacy. Before we dive in, I wanted to quickly highlight last month's spotlight. For October, we featured Alana, creativity, artists, and all the behind the scenes of what love and passion behind baking could bring out, and how turning your passion into something people can savor is a true gift. If you missed it, please make sure you watch it. It's something you definitely don't want to miss. So now on to you, Star.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add in that I loved the vulnerability in talking about like stepping outside of your comfort zone and just the overall like making your love and passion into your brand because as she says, did you have your sweets yet? So that was a fun little thing. But
Iconic.
right. So this month, though, on Authentic Ambitions, we're spotlighting Marion Y. Johnson, founder of the Redefine Me movement. From her early days leading women's ministries to creating her mentorship program called Redefine Your Healing Initiative, Marion has remained committed to helping women of faith heal, redefine, and reclaim their lives after loss and transitions. With over 60 graduates already transformed, her work continues to inspire fresh beginnings rooted in resilience and purpose. So her spotlight is going to be on Sunday, November 16th. So set your notifications so you don't miss it and come and join us for a great discussion.
Yes, we're so excited for her future. It's going to be definitely one you do not want to miss. So definitely check it out, connect, and engage. So on to this month. It's an important topic that so many people, whether you're been just starting in the industry or you've been at it for quite a few decades, it's something that definitely needs to be talked about. And that is mentorship matters, the power of guidance and growth. We're diving into why mentorship is such a game changer, both in receiving guidance to grow your own vision and in showing up and to mentor others along the way. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when we surround ourselves with the right people, the right wisdom, and the right support. So today, Star and I are going to unpack how mentorship has shaped not only our own journeys, but how you can possibly have it to shape your own lessons that we've learned, and just a little bit of how you can start to grow your own in terms of mentorship or in coaching. So, Star, what are your thoughts?
When it comes to entrepreneurship, I feel like, in all honesty, there's no way for you to succeed without having a mentor of some kind. For me, I feel like that can be, and this is even using just like my own life, like, and I'm pretty sure like your experiences are as well. But like it's from using whether it's friends or actual people who are mentors or, coaches and business coaches and things of that nature. It's just like finding someone who walked the steps that you're looking to like go down and visit the path that you're on is so imperative to your success because it's kind of like you don't need to reinvent the wheel. These are usually the people that you can go to when you want, like when you feel overwhelmed and or don't know where to go for like resources or just don't know what to do or just vent by themselves. So For me, for example, in a previous video, I definitely talked about it where I found some of the greatest mentors by going to like sites like score.org and even just from networking communities by themselves. And something that I've definitely want to make sure that I say before I also like pass it on to you is the importance of knowing that not all mentors take care of everything. So you really want to be very intentional about like the person that you're looking to connect with. So for example, if you're looking to create a business plan, you want to find someone who specialized in it. And bonus points if, well, really you should want this, but like bonus points if they've also successfully gotten their businesses funded, because then that just tells you they really do know what like about their craft and they can actually help you get from point A to point B. If you want a mentor just for like confidence, like you could literally find people and that could even, as I said before, be your friend. Who knows? So, yeah.
No, I definitely agree with you. For mentorship, it's very important. And honestly, it's one of those things where, especially if you're, even if you're early on trying to use the resource that you have, even if you see kind of like you follow people, look into what they are, what they're known for, just sometimes a lot of them may either have like free trainings that they may have had, or like even sometimes they'll do like free events or even like free calls to just to get kind of like get a little bit of insight, like you want to learn, you want to know, but maybe you can't necessarily pay for whatever they're offering. There's a lot of different resources. It's same thing that Star said. It is making sure you pick the right one, but there's always different things. So to start with, first of obviously you want to have your community or your support for mentoring. That has to do with a
Mhm.
lot more of like your mindset, your wellness, trying to make sure that you're not either overthinking it or you're overdoing it, and making sure you have some people that's keeping you grounded. Outside of that, then obviously you have your business mentor. I always say you always want someone who has walked the steps that you're looking to go in. You want someone who's achieved or someone who's been there. Like a lot of people have skill sets and different things that you can take advantage of, but if so you're taking advice from someone who's never built a business, then it's kind of like, okay, how are you going to tell me how to build my business when you don't even have a business? You're just telling me
Mhm.
how. Or if you want someone who, like, say, for example, if you want to get into speaking, you're like, oh, you've never spoken on a stage, but you're trying to give me advice on how to speak. If someone who you want to learn how to mentor in terms of networking events and how to do more confidence, public speaking, just getting outside of your comfort zone, you need someone who either has expertise and they've done it, or they've been in the industry long enough to let you know what you can do and what may not work necessarily. But it's so important because sometimes, again, just like Starah said, you don't need to have to reinvent the wheel. It could take you months, if not years, to reinvent something that someone already knows. So, taking advantage of those resources, getting a mentor. I know from my personal experience, I have had some of the best mentors that I can also, I will also say on the other side, I have also had people who were also paid that were not necessarily the best that, I
Mhm.
could have used. So it's one of those things where, but I always say neither of them were without, because some of mine, even some of the paid ones, they opened other opportunities. So it may not have been necessarily too much on the mentoring side, but there was things that elevated my brand and my business, and I was able to use that to not only excel but elevate my business behind more than I can even think about doing on my own. So that's why it's so important. And also being a part of communities. And I say this very, very loosely, being part of intentional communities that can really help you where you need help with your business. So making sure that, because depending on what phase you are in your business and what you're doing, you want to make sure that sometimes in the own communities, either there's mentors or there's people who can help you to find out what you're looking to do and guide you to a mentor that can really help you. And even if it's not being able to use their services, they may have other previous trainings that are free or something that you can pay like a small amount for so that you can get your business to the next step. So mentorship is game changing, and it really is connecting with the right people so that you can build your brand more than if you try to do it alone.
I would definitely say like a few pieces within this where for starters, one, the community part. As someone who has helped out, like build out a community before, one thing that I really want to stress is the importance of not just taking, but also giving back. So, like, and again, we've touched on it before in prior episodes where, like, there is that sort of mentality around imposter syndrome and not feeling like you have, like, a lot of information or a lot of, resources to give, but literally, you don't know what someone needs. So, even if it's just like something that you think is small, can really make or break somebody else's business, right? The second thing too with the mentors and not knowing whether or not they're right for you. That is definitely a hole that I fell into and like
As I think
is
we all.
yeah, but like the thought of like trying to fit a square into a circle where you're like, no, I'm still going to stick it out because I know that I need a mentor versus no, like you're just not right. Like you're
Mhm.
not right for me. You're great like as an individual. So one of the things too to tag on to what Ty was saying is the importance of also just doing your due diligence and research into the person and also viewing and trying to see if you can find reviews of like that person's work, especially if they're asking you for money because by then you definitely need to have like someone saying that you've helped them get from point A to point B or just that you like what kind of service you offered them, whether you were an empathetic person or if you really have, like, as I said, back to the funding thing, like help them fund things of that nature. So I think that those are important. And I really do feel that, which is something that we've both touched on, which is the title does not necessarily matter in some ways because mentors can come in different ways, shape, and forms. And even to like just needing people to just help you as far as like let's say if I'm like nervous of networking, right? And then I'll like come to you and I'm like, Ty, help me, or whatever the case may be. You would help walk me through. That is a mentor. A mentor is, as we were saying, someone who has walked the steps before you. So yeah.
No, I definitely agree. And just to kind of piggyback from what you said too, with the mentor itself, also don't forget, like you can look at reviews and also reviews can be great. They could have helped many people. The biggest thing is making sure they align with your vision and align
Yep.
with what you do. And I say this more for like if you've been on either like a training or if they have a call with you, seeing what it is, not necessarily always going based off of, okay, well, can you help me? Because not everyone is going to be
Hmm.
upfront and say, okay, well, I may not be able to help you with that. And they may just be trying to get you in because they may be great at what they do. It's just that they may not be a good fit for what you need. And
Hmm.
that's what's really important. The second thing that I did want to say, and it literally just slipped my mind, is coming back to me. Okay, I remember. Literally, how my train of thought goes.
Right,
No,
right,
the literally the second thing is when you're looking at like a mentorship and when you're looking at what you need, sometimes you don't know what you need either. Sometimes
yep.
you have no idea. You just know you may have like, okay, these are my thoughts and this is what it is, but I have no idea where I'm going.
Hmm.
That's okay too. And a
Hmm.
lot of times, the biggest thing I could say with that is that's when you really want to start looking into whether there are other entrepreneurs, other founders, building out your community, because sometimes you may be able to gravitate or have other people who can kind of help you more like kind of like detail in what you're
Yes.
needing, and then that can help you pinpoint the exact type of mentor that you're looking for, because sometimes you may think you need one type of mentor and then you get it and you're just like you're taking in the information but you're not comprehending it because you're not there yet. You're like
Hmm.
you're like you thought this is what you needed, but really
Hmm.
you needed someone different. So that's why it's very important to fine line that and to make sure that you're doing it in alignment with what's right for it. And if it doesn't feel right, it's okay. Guess what?
Yeah.
There are a lot of options out there, but you also don't want to spend too much time going around in circle and then not finding one that's connecting with you.
Yeah, like I would say too, one of the things that I do tell everyone that like I source out, like in terms of like for a specific like mentorship role, is call me out on my BS. Like, because there are certain times where, for example, I might be like too nervous to advance something, or I might try and delay. Call me out on my BS. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you give the person permission to just be as honest with you as possible. Of course, like everyone takes information differently. So if you are the opposite person where you're like, I need to be very sensitive, speak to that person too about like how you are more on the sensitive end because maybe for them, they're more of like the brutal honesty. And listen, now we have all feelings that are hurt, you know? So that is definitely one of the things too. And yeah, this one thought just like disappeared for me too. So I'm gonna pause here for so that they know that like we're kind of here. So that you or anyway, because it was like something within like my experiences. Damn it. Yeah, I'll probably just like end it around there. But
Okay.
because I'm like, it's not coming back to me. But yeah, no, I think that one of the things that is great about this conversation is not only are we advocating for like the mentors, but really in this way, we're mentoring other people about how what kind of mentors to find for themselves as well, you know, where it's
Exactly.
like, please don't waste your time, don't waste everybody's energy or your own energy as well. And again, like when it comes to paid, making sure that it aligns with your goals and not only that but also making sure that it's to the best of your ability that the person that is putting the review is actually a business owner or like someone else that you really like that aligns with yourself because just in case that there are people who have like friends that are just like doing the reviews and they're like this person is amazing, of course they're amazing, they're your friend, but like at the same time, but how have they actually helped you from point A to point B versus like putting just like a blank review and not even being able to find a business, which you also do want to be careful with that too. Because, for example, no matter what kind of mentor you get, like at the end of the day, everything is on you. So maybe your business does shut, like one person's business does shut down. So that has nothing to do necessarily with the mentor. And just, I guess, like it's why it's also important to not only listen to the mentor, but also if you see a review and a business is closed, like it doesn't necessarily have a reflection on that specific person. Just make sure that there are enough like reviews to counter that with active businesses is
Yeah,
really.
and the last thing I did want to mention was is also on the other scope of it in terms of people who have been, I know people who've been in the industry for decades and decades and decades, and they also still have mentors
Oh
of their
yeah.
own because the ideal of it is even when you hit the next phase, you still want guidance like, okay, I'm here. So how can I take what I have and repurpose it, reuse it, or hit a different level of audience? So you
Mhm.
always want to make sure, but also on that note, even people who's been in the industry for decades and for years and years and years, it also is, and I say this all the time, and we've talked to a lot of our clients about it and everything in that manner, but also making sure that you're passing the baton, meaning that when other people, or if you see someone who has like questions or someone who's like, oh, how did you do the X, Y, and Z? It's okay to help them, or it's okay if you're not sure to guide them to maybe someone else that can help them. But it
Mhm.
just helps because it's like one of those things where when you needed help, you were able to ask somebody and they were like, oh, let me tell you, like, oh, you can definitely do
Right.
this. And sometimes they can also see in you something that you didn't even see. You like, they're like, oh, I can see you doing this. And then you're like, oh, I actually never thought about that, but
Mm.
that's a really good idea. So it's one of those things where your possibilities are very endless, but you are definitely shorting yourself if you don't even have someone that can actually help you elevate to that next step or be able to help someone. You don't have to be very far in your business to help someone else
Yep.
that may need something that you know or that you have that you're skilled in, expertise in, or that just something that you took from somebody else that mentored you to be able to pass it along.
Yep. And also just the like even with as you were saying, like no one ever grows by themselves, you know? Like it is one of those things where it's important to, as we discussed earlier inside of the discussion, like have a community, give back, like, and also know what you're asking for, but also be open to critiques, criticisms too, which that one might be a little bit of something that you want to work on because, like, you know, sometimes you might think that you have like the best idea in the world, and the person is like, yeah, but like the data shows, no, this is not. So
Yes.
instead of necessarily just like closing in, maybe work on either improving that idea or pivoting wherever needs be. So, with that though, as we close today's discussion, as we said before, one truth always stands is that none of us succeed alone. Mentorship and community are not just helpful, but they're also very essential and the lifeblood of your business. So, through mentors, we gain wisdom. Through giving back, we create the ripple of, wait, Through giving back, we create a ripple effect that strengthens others while reinforcing our own purpose. And even when you're going to look into Marion's story, you're going to see that there is a powerful reminder that when we invest in people, the impact multiplies far beyond ourselves. So if this conversation moves you to seek mentorship or to give back, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell to stay connected with authentic ambitions. Also, leave us a little comment. We love reading things. So until next time, keep building, keep growing, and stay inspired. Bye.
Bye.